वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थितदद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। So namaste once again everyone. So we are seeing Bhagavan Krishna's instructions or advice to or prescriptions to Arjuna for becoming a karma yogi. And this was the sloka which we are seeing. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nishtraigунyo Bhavarjuna Nidvandvo Nitya Sattvastaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. So first he is saying Nishtraigунyaha. Nishtraigунyaha Bhava. Be one free from the desire, the worldly desires which predominantly consists of the three gunas, the threefold qualities. Because the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas, they deal with the subject matter relating to these three gunas. That's why he said Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Vedas are, the subject matter of Vedas are these three gunas. So Nishtraigунyo Bhava means what we saw. Nishkamaha Bhava. May you reduce those activities which are meant only for Arthakama, or to put in technical language, reduce Kamya karmas, reduce Rajasa and Tamasa karmas. Let there be an increase in Sattvika karmas. So this is the first advice given. The second advice was Nirdvandvo Bhava. Increase your titiksha for enduring the pair of opposites in your life which are responsible for all your dukkha and sukha experiences. Don't be bogged down in dukkha experiences, or don't be carried away by the sukha experiences. Maintain an equanimity. May you strengthen your mind to such an extent that you can withstand most of the ups and downs in life. Because ups also is a problem. We have seen many people, or heard of many people, not seen, who were so elated. They won some big lottery or something big happened, so elated that they got a heart attack and they died. So one must have the emotional balance to take success as well as failure with equanimity. That is what is called titiksha, forbearance of extreme situations. Then the third advice was nitya sattvastaha bhava. May you maintain your sattva guna. Because when sattva is predominant, there is composure, discrimination, inquiry, and most importantly, knowledge occurs. And by abiding in sattva guna always will also help in increasing the endurance for ups and downs in life. And how should we do that? This can be achieved by associating ourselves all the time with such sources of knowledge, in the form of which the scriptures which focus on the sattva guna, increasing the sattva guna aspects, or being associated with Mahatmas, and even mingling or associating oneself with the similar seekers, like-minded people. And we saw Adi Shankara says satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam. So by this association with Satpurushas, we can increase our sattva guna and get relieved from the delusion that the world of material objects is the source of your happiness. And in fact, a high level of sattva guna is required even for pursuing moksha. In the whole spiritual journey is all about continuously increasing sattva guna. So one should focus one's own daily activities and then try to reduce those activities which are tamasic. Try to reduce those activities which are rajasic, and then engage oneself throughout the day in activities which will promote sattva guna. This is one of the very important things that every seeker has to do. This is the sadhana, first sadhana one needs to do rather in the spiritual pursuit. And when we are saying that activities, it starts right from waking up in the morning, your eating habits, everything. And we have got this Bhagavad Gita, we don't need to look anywhere else. All this Gita, Bhagavan covers everything, how to increase sattva guna. So that is very important when you are a spiritual seeker. It does not matter for other people who are not interested in spirituality. They can do whatever they want to do. They can in fact increase their tamo guna by sleeping long hours. There's no problem. But when your objective is spiritual seeking, your objective is moksha, goal is paramapadam, then you have to focus on these things. And that's what Bhagavan Krishna is advising Arjuna. And through Arjuna, he is giving this prescription to all of us who are interested in the spiritual pursuit, in your spiritual goal. So this is the third one. Fourth one was, he said, Niryoga Kshema Bhava. May you be a person who has no concern or anxiety due to yoga. And here the meaning of yoga we saw, acquisitions beyond your immediate daily needs. Needs is what is there to underline. Or kshema, protecting or preserving those things which have been acquired. So drop your concern about yoga kshemam by surrendering to the Lord. That's the only way. Devotion is the only remedy. Outsource your yoga kshemam to Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself will say, I take care of the yoga kshemam of everybody. So when he is offering that service, why should we worry about the yoga kshemam? Outsource it to Bhagavan. And this way, we will be able to conserve our energy and time for abiding in the Sattva Guna. Because the more time and effort and energy we spend on this yoga kshema, acquiring things which we don't require or which we think we will require sometime in the future, and also spending effort, time and energy on protecting what has been acquired. So if we save that time, then we can focus on Sattva Guna, focus our mind on the spiritual pursuit. So niryoga kshemaha bhava. And finally he said Atmavan bhava. I think we didn't cover Atmavan last time, right? Am I right? We just stopped at niryoga kshema bhava. So here he says Atmavan bhava. Here the word Atma does not refer to Sachidananda Atma. It is referring to the body, mind and sense complex. Because Bhagavan cannot say Atmavan Bhava because you are already Sachidananda Atma, which Bhagavan knows. So he cannot say you become Sachidananda Atma. What you are already, you cannot become. Therefore, Atma refers to body, mind, sense complex. So because we have a body, mind and senses, which is, and what is being said is, may you have them, may they not have you. Most important part of the body, mind, sense complex is the mind. Keep the mind under your management and don't get managed by the mind. May you not be in the hands of your fancies. May you become free from indifference and mechanical thinking. That is Atmavan. Be aware, be alert. May you be together. Intellect should direct what the mind should think. And the mind should then direct the other parts of the body to act accordingly. So there is a complete coordination. That is what is called togetherness. So Atmavan means being mindful, be alert in your life. Do not carried away by circumstances. Do not just lead a mechanical life just because people are doing certain things. That's what we see, we mechanically go through our life. We are born, we are brought up more or less in the same circumstances. I mean, the atmosphere in the same community is more or less the same. We go for our school, college, get a job, get employed, get married, get children, and one fine day retire, and then wonder what to do with my life now. I've got so much time. Then go to TV, go to clubs, all that, Hardly very few people I have seen when they retire and they got a lot of time in their hands, even think of doing some social service. When they have a time, they still will be looking for another job. Because this man sitting at home, the wife will not keep quiet. She will be behind him. So first thing is this retired man. I'm not telling about everybody, not generalizing, but I've seen cases. So he will, in order to avoid the wife, he will get out of the house, go somewhere. And most people will take some club membership, go play cards there and do whatever, other things they do in these social clubs. And he is not alone, because that is exactly what his father did, and probably his forefathers also did. So Bhagavan is saying, don't just follow the trend mechanically. Do not lead a sheepish life. One fellow goes, everybody goes behind him. Let your life be a deliberate one. Adi Shankara says, apramattah bhava. Do not be careless about your life. Take your life seriously. Do not be, you should always be alert. Don't forget your goal. If you have chosen the spiritual journey, it's a long journey. Every movement, we have to be very, very careful. It's like a long train journey in India. In between, there will be many intermediary stations. Many passengers will get down, and probably we will also get down like others to stretch our legs and get some fresh air, etc. Then we see some people buying some eatables. Most of the stations have got some speciality. I have seen, something, I think, I'm not wrong, Guntur, they used to have some badam milk or something speciality. Then some other in the Maharashtra, you come, there are some stations where the vada pav is a speciality. This is all built up. So in those stations, if you don't eat those things or drink those things, people think that your entire train journey is a waste. They'll be waiting for the station to eat those things. So there will be people, they will not cross any station without buying some eatables. The whole train journey, maybe 24 hours or whatever, will be eating and eating only. And when you see them, you are also tempted and you also go to the stall. But even when you do that, in the corner of your mind, there is always an awareness that this is only a temporary stop and you have to continue your journey. Therefore, you are mindful of the train which can leave at any time. Many times in this small intermediary station, the train will stop for a couple of minutes, and then even without any warning, the train will start and go away. So you are mindful of that I am in a long journey. I have just temporarily got down from the train, and I must not go too far away from the compartment, because then I will have to jump into another compartment and then try to search my compartment and all this. So even when we get down from the train to buy some eatables or anything, there is a constant awareness that I have to go back to the train. Immediately the train starts, I have to run back to the train. And it's a long journey. If I miss this train, then I don't know how I'm going to reach my destination, because this is only an intermediary station. Therefore, there is that awareness in everybody whenever we get down from the train. Similarly, even our Laukika life, when we are in the spiritual path, there may be circumstances where we may have to get down temporarily from the spiritual path, say to indulge in some sort of an entertainment with the family, or to make some social visits. All that will happen. But we must always be Atmavan, aware that, this is all temporary. I am not going to get involved in this fully. I'll just fulfill what others are expecting of me to some extent. I will get back to my spiritual journey very quickly. Similarly, earning, getting married, working in a company, all these are intermediary stages necessary for one to understand, get the experience of this world. But one should be aware that these are not the ends in life. They are not end in themselves. The end is totally different from all these things. And that's why we have these 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Ashrama means what? A stage in life. Never ever get carried away by any particular pursuit. And most of our problems today, especially when we are retired and we have reached the senior citizen stage, is that we are stuck in Grihasthashrama. We are not able to move away from Grihasthashrama to Vanaprastha. And that is why we get into all sorts of conflicts with our children. They are married, they have got their own family, but we will still try to interfere in their lives. So, unless we are aware of all these things, then it will become very difficult for us to talk of any spiritual journey or anything. In Vedanta Shastra, this is called Chitta Samadhanam. Being always aware of the goal. And this is a sign of a karma yogi. This is the attitude of a karma yogi. You can even say it's the outlook of a karma yogi. Therefore, Arjuna, you also become a karma yogi. Be a karma yogi. Of course, as I said, this is a very important sloka. And this sloka, if you are in spiritual pursuit, you must completely imbibe the contents of this sloka, assimilate it. Because this is the most important karma yoga. What is karma yoga? How to pursue karma yoga? To get the jnana yogyata for jnana yoga, this sloka is the guiding sloka. And the reason Krishna asked Arjuna to be Nistraigunya, that is going beyond those parts of Veda, dealing only with the samsara, is given in the next verse, which is also a very excellent verse. Krishna comes up with a beautiful example. Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. The anvaya of this sloka is Vijanatah brahmanasya sarveshu vedeshu tavan. We can add artha within bracket. Yavan artha udapane sarvatah samplutodake. Vijanatah brahmanasya, for a wise Brahmin. Sarveshu vedeshu, in all the Vedas. Tavan artha, the benefit available is the same. Like what? Yavan artha, the benefit, udapane, available in a pond, sarvata samplutodake. when there is a flood everywhere. That's a beautiful example. He says, for a wise Brahmin, for a learned Brahmin, or you can even say who is a karma yogi, he understands that the benefit available in all the Vedas is the same as the benefit available in a pond when there is flood everywhere. So here, Krishna talks about the reward for a karma yogi. Because whenever we talk of any spiritual or even religious activity, one of the most important questions everybody will ask is, what do I get out of this? You want me to do puja. What will I get out of it? So Krishna is very much aware of this human psychology. So here he is trying to show Arjuna or demonstrate to Arjuna the benefit of karma yoga. Because he feels that if Arjuna sees the benefit, then he will certainly abide by the instructions or teaching. And he will not hesitate to put forth any amount of effort to attain that goal. Just to say, showing the carrot in front. Some animals they show so that they will go after that. Otherwise, one will keep on wondering, why take to karma yoga by doing all these things which have been said in the previous sloka? What I am going to get out of it? Would it not be better to lead a free life doing what one feels like doing? Because a loose life, a loose life, I mean, Swami Paramatmananda, I think, uses this word, loose life. It's very tempting because there is no energy involved. You don't need to do anything. Just keep on lying down in your bed. Do all those things which are minimum, effort required. Whereas karma yoga requires you an alert life. And to lead an alert life, a lot of energy is involved. So therefore, Bhagavan Krishna feels that there should be something there to tempt. There should be some reward. People should understand that I will get this reward. And therefore, Krishna is showing the reward. And of course, he says the reward is what? Without saying in so many words, he says it is moksha, infinite ananda. Therefore, it is worth the effort. And this will only be appreciated by not everybody. Only very few people will appreciate that I need to put in the effort so that I get that ananda. Even let it be a temporary ananda. But that ananda, once get by putting this effort, will be a much larger ananda than other anandas that they get, other small happiness they get. I mean, take example. For example, a person climbing the Everest. That is his goal. I need to go on top of the Everest and put my national flag on that. That is his goal. And we all know how much difficult that journey is, how much trouble is involved, how much risk is involved. Not only that, how much money is involved. One needs to train oneself. Or for that matter, some athlete, he is aiming for an Olympic gold medal. He knows that it is not for everybody. Nobody, I mean, even if other people aim for Olympic gold medal, they have to work for it. And the work is not something very simple. You and me can never ever even dream of doing that kind of a work. Why do they put in so much effort? Because they are aware of the reward, the thrill. that they will get when they achieve their goal. When this person goes up to the top of Everest and puts the flag there, the thrill that he enjoys is the biggest ananda he will get in his life. 1 in a million or 1 in a billion also, you can say. I don't know how many people have gone up the Everest. Or for that matter, the guy getting an Olympic gold medal. When he stands in that podium and the gold medal is given to him, he will feel like crying. Why? That is the ananda. The ananda is overflowing and coming out in form of tears from his eyes. It is not crying because of grief or anything. It is the ananda, which, what they call it, the tears of happiness. That is why those people put in those efforts, those kind of efforts. They give up everything, all sorts of comfort. Practice, practice, practice. A spiritual seeker who is actually having moksha as his goal, his task is no less. The only difference being an Olympic gold medalist or an Everest climber, once that is achieved, they will come back to their previous life. Whereas the one who has realized moksha, for whom liberation has become Atma Bhava, there is no coming back. He will abide in that happiness, in that ananda forever till his body lasts in this janma, till his prarabdha gets over. Even if he continues to live in the family, in the circumstances in which he was earlier, he will still be able to maintain his own equanimity, his own ananda, without being disturbed by anything that is happening around him. Therefore, when we understand this sloka, what we have to understand is Krishna is defining moksha in this sloka. Therefore, he is indirectly saying the ananda, the fulfillment that a person enjoys through spiritual wisdom, is all encompassing fulfillment, in which all the worldly pleasures are also included. So, through worldly achievements, money, status, position, children, wife, all these things are going to give a certain ananda, a certain fulfillment. Krishna does not deny that fulfillment, because that happiness is like a water in a pond or a well, rather. That is necessary. But what Krishna is saying is that when you seek moksha, you are not losing the worldly pleasures, because all the worldly pleasures are included in moksha. Therefore, you are not missing anything. Because we have seen, suppose there is a sannyasi who has left everything, and that too at a very young age, and he goes. What people will say, they will have a lot of sympathy for him. Poor guy. He has nobody, no children, no relatives, nothing. They use all these things. Swami Paramatmananda explains very nicely, where he is one of the victims of that. So people will think, oh, what sannyasi, like drag life it was. He cannot wear even a new fashionable dress. He can't even change his hairstyle. In fact, his head will be clean shaven most of the time. So how can we talk of hairstyle? He'll have one upper cloth, we'll put it on his head, and then he will go on saying the same Vedanta. Same Vedanta, nothing new is possible. He will not even ask, I want this particular thing, that particular thing, even in respect of food. Whatever is given to him, he will eat. If nothing is given to him, he will drink water and sleep. So, all these things which we think are all pleasures which give us joy and enjoyment, happiness, a sannyasi will not have. So people think that a sannyasi's life should be a drag, a meaningless life it should be. This is what the world may feel. But a sannyasi knows. I mean, I'm talking about a real sannyasi. Yeah? There are so many pseudo sannyasis that we come across. I'm talking about a real sannyasi. He knows that his life includes, his happiness includes all the happiness that other people can get. And also, it goes beyond that, and he enjoys that happiness which other people cannot get. And therefore, Krishna presents this with a beautiful example. The Karma Kanda talks about varieties of ritual for worldly pleasures. So many pujas, yajnas are prescribed to get so many worldly material benefits. So the various means and ends are talked about in the Veda are all limited, so that any result that we derive from the karmas enjoined in the Vedas are also going to be limited. And Krishna says that each pleasure is a finite pleasure. Money pleasure, wife pleasure, child pleasure, status pleasure. These are all parichinna sukham, limited. Maybe there for some period of time, they go away. That sukham goes away. But the Jnana Kanda, the final portion of the Veda, talks about an ananda, moksha, which comes under the definition of infinite pleasure, infinite happiness. And within that infinite pleasure, all the finite pleasures are included. And therefore, a person who is reveling in the ananda due to his liberation, he does not miss anything. The Veda Purva Bhaga contains all prescriptions for dharma, artha, kama achievements. But moksha is not included in the Veda Purva Bhaga. Whereas in moksha, dharma, artha, kama are also included. In finite, the infinite is included, whereas in finite, the infinite is not included, whereas in the infinite, all finite things are included. Therefore, it is worth the effort. That's what Krishna is trying to point out to Arjuna. And to convey this idea, Bhagavan Krishna gives an example of a small pond of water. Udapanam means a small pond of water or a well. A water body which is small, which we have on a day-to-day basis, we use the water from that. It may supply drinking water, and sometimes suppose there will be water for taking bath, washing clothes, etc. A small limited supply of water. But suppose there are heavy rains and the whole place is flooded and it's turned into a lake. Why would you look for the water from the pond or a well? In fact, the pond or the well would also be under the flood waters. Now Krishna says that you can get those benefits in a huge body of water like a lake, which cannot be got in a pond of water. But whatever benefit you can get through the pond, that can be gained through the lake also. In addition to those benefits, only which lakes can offer. In the lake, you can go for a swim. You can go for boat riding. There's so much water that you can get for irrigation. In addition to the benefit that you get in the pond water, like drinking water, bath, washing clothes, etc. Therefore, the benefit of the pond is included in the benefit of the lake, but the benefit of lake is not included in the benefit of the pond. You cannot swim in a well. You cannot swim in a pond. Maybe small children may be able to do that, but adults cannot do that. So what Krishna wants to point out is the finite, which is the pond, is included in the finite, which is the lake, but the infinite is not included in the finite. Therefore, dharma, artha, kama are included in moksha, but moksha is not included in dharma, artha, kama. This is the essence of this sloka. Right? Now let us see the word meanings in some detail. As I said, this is also a very important sloka, very often quoted. To understand what is moksha is, this is a very important sloka. Udapane artha. Artha here means the benefits. The artha word has got few meanings. We have seen earlier, artha kama, the artha in artha kama means security. Here, artha means benefits. Then there is also artha in Sanskrit language, means for the purpose of. Kimartam gachasi, why are you going? That means for what purpose. So artha has got many meanings. Here the meaning we have to take is the benefits. So udapane artha means the benefits that we obtain from a pond. Like drinking water, you can wash, all that I say mentioned. But a pond water or a well water, we cannot use it for irrigation of, or we cannot swim in that, etc. Whereas if you have one lake, it can be used for irrigation, cleaning the whole house, taking bath, swimming, boating, so many other things can be done. So here Krishna says, Udapane, in the pond, whatever limited prayojanam is there, tavan artha, all those benefits can be obtained in a lake, sarvatah samplutodake. Sarvatah samplutodakam means a tatakam, a lake, huge reservoir of pure water. In that, not only you can get finite benefits, but you can also get more. Similarly, sarveshu vedeshu yavan artha, in the entire ritualistic portion of the Vedas. And here, of course, we must understand Veda refers to karma kanda, kamya karmas. In that, there are varieties of benefits are said whenever we do any sankalpam, puja and all that. Dhanyam, dhanam, pashum, bahuputra, labham, shatasam, vatsaram, dhirgham, ayuhu. All these benefits you will get by doing a puja. So there are so many other things also. Only yesterday, those who have done the upakarma, day before yesterday. In that sankalpam, all these so many benefits by doing this upakarma, what all benefits that you can get there, it includes removal of papa, all those things are there. The papas have done janmantara, thousands of kodis of janmas. So many things are told. All are purva bhaga, karma kanta rituals. And what Krishna is pointing out to Arjuna is, Arjuna, I know that you know that these rituals promise ananda. But whatever ananda is promised through these rituals, all that ananda can be gained by a vijanatah brahmana, a brahmana who has gained self-knowledge. And thereby he has gained moksha. This we have to supply. Vijanatah brahmanatah means Brahmana means the one who has gained moksha through self-knowledge, through Atma Jnanam, through Brahma Jnanam. So, a person who has gained moksha, for him, he gains limitless ananda. And here a Brahmana should be understood as a Viveki, a discriminative person, one in whom Sattva is predominant. And we must understand, here the reference is to Guna Brahmana and not a Jati Brahmana or a Karma Brahmana. Therefore, a cultured, discriminative Guna Brahmana, through his Vijnanam, knowledge, will get the ultimate fulfillment. Therefore, for an enlightened Brahmana, the Vijanatah Brahmanasya, Krishna says, the portion of Veda relating only to samsara is as useful as water from a well. When the entire countryside has been flooded, sarvata samplutodake. When the wells and ponds are themselves underwater, you need not look to them for water. So here, Krishna is comparing moksha to the reservoir of water, whereas money, family, all other things, material benefits, including big positions, big businesses, they are all compared to various udapanams. We do not know when they will all dry up, like the water in the ponds can easily dry up. Whereas a huge lake is only the eternal source. Therefore, sarveshu vedeshu yavan arthaha. Whatever benefit is acquirable through Vedic rituals, all can be acquired through one moksha jnanam. Therefore, Arjuna, you have to choose moksha if you are intelligent, and for moksha, you require karma yoga, and therefore you better become a karma yogi. So as I said, all that Krishna said in this sloka was to create in Arjuna an interest in karma yoga, which Krishna has yet not talked about what is karma yoga. Earlier he talked about Sankhya, knowledge, right? After asking Arjuna to listen to what he had to say about karma yoga, then he began praising it, saying that there was no possibility of losing anything or incurring any wrong result by practice of karma yoga. And karma yoga is not mere karma. So here Krishna brings out a very clean distinction between karma as per Vedic rituals, or even we can take the meaning of karma as our day-to-day, whatever actions that we do, and karma yoga, which is a totally different thing. And of course, he has also pointed out that people do karmas because they do not know what they really want. Since what they want is not very clear, they go after enjoyment and power. However, when what is wanted is very clear, the mind is settled. The storm is over and there is no more interest in experimentation. Today, let me do this, whether I will get happiness. If you don't get happiness, what you have done today, you go do something else tomorrow to get happiness. So this is the problem of the samsari. Goes on experimenting. With what will I get happiness? With what will I get happiness? But for a karma yogi, he is very clear. He has got vyavasayatmika buddhi about his goal. For such a person, all experimentation stops because there is clarity with reference to what is wanted, which is a very, very great blessing. If you have that clarity, that itself is a great blessing, and you can get that clarity of your goal only with grace of Bhagavad. So now in the next sloka, which is a very important and oft-quoted sloka, Bhagavan Krishna explains the essence of Karma Yoga. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaye turbhu ma te sangostva karmani. Very popular sloka. Whether people understand the meaning or not, they quote this left, right, and center. Especially in obituary and all that, some big businessman would have died, and they will call him a karma yogi, and then they will quote this sloka also. Anyhow, this is an important sloka for a karma yogi, and to understand what is karma yoga all about, so we will spend some time in this sloka. In fact, to tell you, Pujya Swamiji, once he had come to Kuwait, one whole week he talked only about this sloka. 5 days or 6 days, if I'm not wrong. Evening 1 hour session. He explained only this one sloka, which was a very great eye-opener for me. Excuse me. So the anvaya of this sloka is te adhikaraha karmani eva ma kadachana phaleshu ma bhuhu karma phala hetuhu ma te astu sangaha akarmani. Te adhikaraha. Here the word adhikara is most often misunderstood. Adhikara means control. Some people say adhikara means right. Because these all meanings also exist for the word adhikara. But here the word adhikara has to be interpreted, or the meaning has to be taken as choice. So te adhikara, you have a choice. Karmani eva, over action alone. Ma kadachana phaleshu. We have to add adhikara here. You do not have a choice over the results. Ma bhu karma hetuhu. Therefore, may you not be motivated by the results of action. Mate astu. May you not have sangaha, an inclination, akarmani, towards inaction. You have a choice over action alone. You do not have a choice over the results. Therefore, may you not be motivated by the results of actions. Let that result of action not be a motivating factor for you to engage in the actions. Or to say other way around is, it is not wrong to expect the results, but if the results are not as per your expectation, understand that your action is only a contributory factor in getting the result. It is not the only factor. There are other factors also. So if you understand that there will be an inclination not to do anything, therefore he adds the caveat, may you not have an inclination towards inaction also. So as I said, this is a very important verse, very often quoted, which enunciates the principle of Karma Yoga. The wisdom behind Karma Yoga is given here. What attitude or what understanding a Karma Yogi has with regard to actions and results. Because In Karma Yoga, two things are important. When we act in the world, action or karma is important. And whatever karma we do, it is going to produce a result. Every karma is a seed sown. It will produce a result, no matter what. So karma is important. The result, the karma phalam, is also important. And the results, of course, could be, as I said earlier also, could be drishta phalam and adrishta phalam, both. Therefore, we should develop a healthy attitude towards both karma and karma phala to become or to be a karma yogi. That we have to understand very, very carefully. So if I should have a healthy attitude, I should have a proper understanding of both, because attitude depends upon my understanding, how well I have understood. Without understanding something, I can never have a proper attitude. Pujya Swamiji gives a beautiful example. He says, suppose I introduce a new person and ask you, what is your attitude towards him? Do you respect him, etc.? Or do you revere him or look down upon him? What is your attitude? What will be your answer? I cannot have any attitude with regard to a person whom I do not know. I just now got introduced to him through you. So in order to develop an attitude towards that person, I will need to start moving with that person, come to know more about that person, his virtues, his ideals, his weaknesses. Then naturally you can develop a respect towards that person, or whatever it is. Respect is born out of what? Your knowledge about the person. But suppose you come to know that that person is a corrupt person, a cheat, etc. And naturally you are not going to develop a respect for that person. Again, that is also based upon your understanding. And that's why Pujya Swamiji always said, without a cognitive change, an attitudinal change is impossible. And in life, what primarily matters is the attitudinal change. And for the attitudinal change, the foundation is cognitive change. And by cognitive change, what we mean is a change in our understanding of the thing. Either you would have not understood, you have no knowledge of the thing, or you have got a misconceived knowledge or a mistaken knowledge about this thing. And that can change only, this is what is called cognitive change. When you get the right understanding of that thing, that induces a cognitive change. And because of the cognitive change, there is an attitudinal change possible. We can think of so many examples. Some people we say, we have seen, a person, a very simple example here. A person steals food from let's say a restaurant or something, and he is caught. Then people call him thief and things like that and all, and try to punish him. At that time, he is crying. They have a they have got a negative attitude towards him, that he is a thief. He is stealing food. But he says that I am not stealing this food for me. My old mother, who is very sick, she is very sick and she is hungry. She has not had food for 2 days. And I don't have any money. And I don't like begging. That is why I stole, and this is for the sake of my mother. When we understand that the purpose of his stealing was not something for himself, was for doing some some service to his mother, there is a cognitive change because of the new understanding, and that cognitive change will result in an attitudinal change towards that person, isn't it? We have seen so many such stories. WhatsApp and all the social media is very good in actually sharing such stories, which are really very great. And therefore, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, te karmani adhikaraha asti. And we will see more of that in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste.
Thank you, Guruji, and namaste,
Thank you,
Guruji.
Guruji. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste.
Namaste.
Guruji.
Namaste. Yes.
Guruji, this pond and lake
Mm.
example, at times a pond can produce real good water, sweet water, as compared to a lake. Why? Like, for example, the flooding part which you explain, the floods can always pollute the lake.
That's true. We are talking from our example. For example, we have got these pure water lakes, in the US and all that. Right?
Correct.
They don't carry any pollution. The lake cleans itself automatically.
No, that is because the discipline they follow.
No,
You
that's
please
true.
see the Bangalore lakes. Most of them are polluted.
Correct. So who is responsible? Now the lake is responsible, but we are responsible. Correct.
I agree.
For that matter, even a pond or a well, which is there in your house, suppose, in the old, houses and all,
Correct.
in villages.
In the villages and all that, yeah.
Unless you maintain them, you clean them, and you properly take care of them, they will also, that water also will not be useful, rather. You can't use that water. So I have seen that in my own mother's village, they had a house and a big well was there and all. And very, regularly they have to clean that well and, remove all the debris and everything. So ultimately, that is, here we should, look at the example, not as a per se example, but what is being conveyed through that example. That is, when you get the infinite ananda, infinite happiness, that includes the finite happiness that you are seeking on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
So, whereas
correct,
the finite happiness is only limited, and that does not include the infinite happiness that you can. So that is the message which Bhagavan is conveying. And this see, when he conveyed it, probably people were more disciplined. So there was no pollution of either the lake or the pond. Today we have come to all these situations because of our own action or inaction, rather. So we must take the essence of the shloka, and that is why, what will I get becoming karma yogi? Why should I do all these things? Actually speaking, even we experience it in our own lives, in our own family. When we are in the spiritual path, people tell this fellow has gone bonkers. This fellow, what is he going to get by doing all these things? Right? That's fine. You must pray and all that. But whole day doing all these things, what is he going to get? And all these things, people around you will ask. You must just smile and keep quiet, because what you are getting out of this, they won't understand at all. It's only for you. That's why I keep saying, Vedanta, spiritual pursuit, is not to show to others that I am a spiritual person. I am a spiritual person is for me. It is my journey. I am traveling.
My choice, yeah.
My choice and my journey. If nobody else will understand what I am doing, what my goal in life is, even if I explain to them, it will be a waste of my time and effort, because they are not tuned to that channel at all. Then why go and take trouble at trying to convince them that what I am doing is right? There is no need for conviction as long as you are convinced that this is my goal. Whether it is in this life or the next life or maybe 10 lives, let me take. But I have started on this. There is no going back for me. So that is why people like Swami Paramathananda, Puja Swamiji and all, they were born in a family and all that, but they didn't get attracted towards it. They moved on with their goal. Maybe in the previous life, they would have practiced enough of Karma Yoga. And that in this life, they have actually progressed to Jnana Yoga because of the Chitta Shuddhi that they have gained in the previous lives. So they are all role models so far as spiritual people are concerned. We must try to do as much as possible in this life, because that Ananda is incomparable when we get that to that position. Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Who
you,
should
Guruji.
go
Thank
next?
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think Hari ji first we will take, and then Anjali ji, then I think Sulekha ji also raised her hand. If I'm not wrong. So we'll take one by one. Hari ji, you go first.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Guruji, this is regarding verse 46.
Mm-hmm.
This verse is related to a jnani, is it not? It is not an ordinary karma yogi, because he is now telling Vijanataha Brahmanasya.
Yes.
It is self-realized Brahmana,
No,
not an ordinary
not
karma yogi.
no. See, there is hardly, actually speaking, Krishna will later talk. This karma and jnana are two lifestyles. Karma yoga and jnana yoga are two lifestyles which people can pursue. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Even when you are a karma yogi, you are a Vijanata Brahmanata because you have understood what it is all about. You know the goal is moksha and what moksha will give, all that you have understood. Right?
Okay.
You have not become a jnani yet, because karma yoga cannot give moksha. Moksha you can get only through jnanam, because there are so many pramanas for that in the Upanishads, right? Jnanenu tu kaivalyam. So,
but here in this verse, is he not talking about a jnani who has already got the moksha? Because he is telling...
He doesn't talk about that. He is only saying that if you become a jnani, Arjuna, a Vijanata Brahmana hai, who has understood what moksha is, his ananda, is much, it's infinite than ananda that you are getting not being a Vijanata Brahmana. Correct?
Yeah.
So you become a Vijanata Brahmana.
Then only he will have the lake.
Then only he will have the lake. Right now
lake.
he is in a pond.
Yeah. Okay.
So he is making Arjuna understand that when you get jnanam, when you become a jnani, this is what you will get, right? So we tell children, you study very well, you will become IAS officer, you will become this, you will become that. Similarly, Bhagavan is motivating Arjuna that you become a karma yogi. And through this path, you will later on get, you will become a Vijanata Brahmana and you will then get the infinite. That is
Though Arjuna is talking like a Vijanata Brahmin, he was giving all advice and all sorts of explanation.
Vijanata is what they say. Some people ask questions as if they know everything. But actually you find out they don't know much. So that is what here he is now trying to motivate Arjuna. That this is the goal, right? When you set that as a goal and take on the Karma Yoga path, you will reach there. That's what he says. Yeah.
Okay. And when he says Vedeshu, that means
Sarveshu Vedeshu.
Yeah, it is Karma Yoga, is it not? Or Karma?
No. Karma, not Karma Yoga.
Okay.
It is only Karma, right?
Okay.
The same Karma. Karma Yoga is same Karma done
in
with the
different
Karma Yoga
attitude.
With different attitude become Karma Yoga.
Okay.
But as
Okay.
long as you are doing those karmas which are in the Veda, they want only
Okay.
limited things they can give you.
Okay.
Right? That is how
Okay.
3 stages: karmas, karma yoga, and then jnana. Jnana yoga
Okay.
and jnana. Like that, you have to 4 stages you have to cross over.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right
Okay.
now, Arjuna is in the karma stage. Now he is
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to tell him, become a karma yogi. That's all he says.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
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 Hari Om.
Okay.
Thank you. Anjali ji, next your turn.
Yeah, Namaskara, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Guruji, this with respect to this infinite happiness of moksha, Krishna has also recommended 4 ashramas, like Brahmacharya ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, and all those 4 ashramas. So, can we say that, or can we connect this to obtaining moksha, that we have to approach stage-wise to obtain infinite bliss?
You have
Can
to
we
go
say-
through, yes, you have to go through all the 4 stages. And the most important stage is the Grihastha ashrama, where you have a responsibility towards your family, to your society. You must fulfill those responsibilities. Because sannyasa or vanaprastha does not mean running away from your responsibilities. Okay.
Yeah.
That is how you mature, rather, intellectually, in terms of emotional balance and all. You mature by going through the Grihastha ashrama. And Grihastha ashrama is not only for the personal pleasure. Grihastha ashrama has got a very large role to play in the society, in maintaining harmony in the society. So then, once you have done with the Grihastha ashrama, what Krishna will be saying is, don't get stuck there. Move on. Move to the Vanaprastha stage. Vanaprastha stage is what? Preparation for a sannyasa. And sannyasa need not necessarily be physical sannyasa. You can be an emotional sannyasi also.
Yeah.
Emotional sannyasi, you are within everything, but nothing affects you.
Yeah. Nothing affects.
It can be. So, sannyasa is important for jnana yoga. In fact, Adi Shankara makes it very simple in his bhashyam. He says physical sannyasa is compulsory for jnana yoga, for studying Upanishads. But what has happened is, in today's world,
Can you repeat that sentence?
Adi Shankara says that physical sannyasa is a must for jnana yoga, for pursuing jnana yoga.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas in today's world, where he is talking about a system which was prevailing, a society which was prevailing at his time, where the sannyasis used to be taken care of by the society in terms of their food, in terms of their stay, and in terms of their living.
Support. Yes.
But today, if a sannyasi says, I am going to take physical sannyasi, who is going to feed him?
Yeah. Bhiksha. Who will give bhiksha?
Who will give bhiksha? I mean, they will take more bhiksha from others. And not they won't give any bhiksha. So that is why Puja Swamiji and Swami Chinmayananda and even Paramathananda ji and all, they are saying that it is not necessary to take physical sannyasa for you to be a sannyasi. Because sannyasa is not an attire that you wear, it is a mental attitude that you develop. Which mental attitude you can develop being a grihastha also, which is very challenging, very difficult, no doubt. If you are literally you take sannyasa physically and go away from the family and be in the company of all sadhus and mahatmas and all that, then jnana yoga is very easy for you. Whereas being in the family, taking all your people are surrounding, are all trying to pull you away from the sannyasa attitude, right? But to overcome that and develop a sannyasa attitude as a grihastha is very difficult, challenging, but not impossible. So the degree of difficulty is more, but we can work towards it. So sannyasa is must. Sannyasa gives you what? Totally mental freedom from all other, involvement in all other things, and focus only on study on jnana yoga. Studying Bhagavad Gita in depth, studying the Adi Shankara's commentary or other commentaries rather, and question what Krishna is saying in your own mind and try to find answers for them. So Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam can be done effectively only when your mind is totally free from all other engagements.
Hmm.
So if you have those engagements, this is not possible. But what you are right in understanding, these 4 stages have to be gone through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
you're absolutely right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Hari Om. Yes, Sulekha ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om Guruji. You answered my questions today, actually, through
Yeah,
Hari Ji's and Anjali's
Next time I will give you
questions.
the first chance to ask the question so that other people don't steal your questions.
No. It's actually it's a I think very profound teachings, and so it's time to reflect and to contemplate on how to put this into practice in one's life, in one's circumstances, in one's environment, in such a way that there's always harmony, because I think that is in my own case necessary, in the sense of having the time and space. And you have met my mother, and so you know that we have a very good role model in our own family that has moved on from stage to stage.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of inspiration all around from so many different people and so many different environments. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you, Guruji. No questions for
all God's grace.
How old is your mother, Sulekha ji?
my mother is 78, Hariji. But she has quite a very profound effect on many of us.
Pious, noble lady, very nice lady. In fact, I always keep looking forward to meeting her, which I will be doing 2 weeks later when I'll be going to Toronto again.
Yeah, we look forward to
Sulekha
it,
ji and
Guruji.
her mother have been kind enough to, they are trying to organize a satsang on that day when I am there, getting a few people. And I'm going to talk about Karma Yoga only there.
Thank you, Guruji. No, I think it'll be a very wonderful opportunity to hear again. Thank you, Guruji, and to your family as well. We thank them for giving us the opportunity to have you once again in this forum.
Satsang will be telecast. It will be like Zoom
No,
meeting.
it won't be. The reason is because that day, that's the 27th of this month, I am going to Canada to attend a Maharudram.
Okay.
The Maharudram will start from 5:30 in the morning and it will go till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So I will be participating in that. My son-in-law, my son, all of us will be participating. So we will be busy. So that day we may not have this class on that day because it's a Saturday and I will be there in the Sringeri temple. And the satsang is on that day evening at 6 o'clock. So evening 6 o'clock, the timing may not suit for all people in India because it will be midnight or early morning or something like that, beyond midnight, right? Evening 6 o'clock, this Eastern time, it will be probably 3:30 or something in India. Yeah, 3:30 early morning in India. So there won't be any purpose in telecasting. I will not expect you people to wake up and listen.
If you do it, then I will see it.
Well, let me think about it. I mean, doing it is not difficult. I mean, I just have
then
to,
I can come online.
Yeah. So
because I normally get up by 3 o'clock or 3:30.
Yeah.
No problem.
I realize that Premaji and all also may want to join that. So I can still circulate the link so that those people who can watch the satsang.
Yes, I would love to.
Yeah.
Let's see, let's work it out.
It's a Saturday, 27th Saturday only.
Okay.
So for you, it will be Sunday early morning.
No problem. I can get it.
Yeah, that will be there. Anyway, let us see. Let me work out the logistics of that. I don't think it should be difficult, but we can see how we can organize it.
Okay.
That will also probably be one way useful, because then I can record the whole satsang. Then that will be available for my use also. Rather.
Yeah, that is.
That's it. We will see that. Okay. Any more questions? Nothing is there. We can stop. Hari Om. Thank you very
Hari
much,
Om.
all. See you next time.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you.